2025 is officially coming to an end, so I figured what better time to get in front of this camera and to talk about my favorite songs from the past year than right now. And I'll be completely honest, I was gonna make this video over 100 songs, but for the sake of brevity, I cut it down to just 25, but I will try to remember to leave a link in the description to my playlist that I made. It's over 100 songs. It's something like 130 tracks or something like that. And I'm gonna keep updating it until 2025 becomes 2026. So with all that out of the way, let's get into the list. Number 25, Joey Badass, Supaflee. The Neptunes influence is heavy with this one. Shout out to Bree Stevens on an amazing hook. This man Joey said, "The way the diamonds cut on the wrist is a suicide watch." Number 24, Glory by JID. This man rapped for over 4 minutes straight and not a single curse word, bro. I forgot who JID did the interview with, but the story of how this song came about is really dope too. I think he was talking about his brother or something like that, but he said he got baptized in cold water, it turned warm. Just that imagery is crazy, bro. Number 23, Pure Debauchery and Debo by Dr. Dot. These two tracks are just an ignorant, good ass time. Marco Plus and Dr. Dot have some great chemistry. Pure Debauchery is a 2-part track. The second half really reminds me of Who Wants Smoke. Number 22, Chains and Whips, Clipse featuring Kendrick Lamar. This song, y'all know the story, all the drama, all the BS surrounding this track. And in my opinion, it was worth all of that trouble. I know it's easy for me to say because I didn't have to go through any of it, but as a fan, it was worth everything. Pusha T is on here, dissing Jim Jones. Malice is his typically impressive self. That Kendrick Lamar verse is one of the verses of the year. That Gen scheme he got on is crazy. Number 21, Nuevayol and Cafe Con Ron by Bad Bunny. I cannot wait to see this man perform these tracks at the Super Bowl. I will be so disappointed if he doesn't perform these songs, at least one of these tracks. He at least gotta perform Nuevayol at the Super Bowl, you know what I mean? Before this album, before these tracks, I was what I would consider a casual Bad Bunny fan, but after these songs, after this album, I'm what you call a Bad Bunny super fan. Nuevayol is an ode to New York Puerto Ricans. Cafe Con Ron translates to coffee with rum. The hook is saying something like coffee in the morning, rum in the afternoon, come out on your balcony, we're in the streets. Just a real celebratory track. Number 20, 5 More Minutes and Baccarat by Leon Thomas. 5 More Minutes is Leon in his introverted romantic bag telling the driver that he needs 5 more minutes with this girl, and eventually he just settles on fucking I'm staying home. And Baccarat might be the most impressive instrumental this entire year. The way the guitar, the bass, the drums, everything is just syncopated. It's an experience. Number 19, Blanco by Wale. I touched on this song when I talked about Everything Is a Lot in my Album of the Year video. This is one of the best tracks from that album. This song really encapsulates a lot of notions and a lot of narratives about Wale, that he's emotional, he's a little bit volatile, he likes to rely on the bottle a little bit too much when those emotions get stirred up. But what I think is really impressive is having the self-awareness about those narratives and about those notions to encapsulate those raw emotions and to turn it into an amazing song. Number 18, Community by JID. I'll put a bullet in Bob the effing Builder is the highlight of this verse, but the rest of the verse is amazing as well. I don't think I've ever heard JID rap in that tone ever. Clipse was the perfect feature for this track as well. The way Malice closed it out saying something like, when kings can't raise a young prince, the doves cry here. Malice for MVP. Number 17, Day in the Sun by De La Soul. You know I had to show some love to the OGs on this list right here. This track feels like a bright, shiny summer day. Never could front on a day with some sunshine is what they say in the hook. And I definitely felt that, especially when it looks like this outside where I'm at. Number 16, Endangered Innocence by Lloyd Banks. I've noticed a trend while talking about these songs on this list, and it's that my favorite songs really make me feel something, or they embody or they encapsulate a feeling that no other songs could. And this song's another example of that. The way they reflect and paint that picture of innocence as a kid, birthdays at grandma's house, getting fresh for school, the music that shaped our childhood. The hook alone is enough to make you reflect on all of that and maybe even get the waterworks going. We even get a great Ghostface verse to close the song out, which he ends by saying, "Big bangle bracelet, 4 fingers ferocious, chain so big it caused osteosporosis." Not osteoporosis, osteosporosis. You got it, Ghosts. Number 15, My Muse by Leon Thomas. All you need to know about this track is summed up in just a couple quotes. First, he said, "I should have some shame when you hit me at 5 a.m. I think we all been there. And then the way he ends each hook by saying, "You're not my girl, you're still my muse. Make me want to get my money up and spend it on you." And then he says, "You're not my girl, you're still my muse. You supposed to be my number 1 and not his number 2, bro? Come on." Number 14, Head Wrap and Crash by Saba. Head Wrap might have came out last year, but it was on an album that dropped this year, so fuck it. This song is one of the most meaningful tracks on this list, and that's because it touches on a subject that's very rarely talked about, and that's the relationship between black people and their hair. Absolutely love the delicacy of the hook. The sentiment of keep growing your garden is very touching. I can't recommend this track enough. As far as Crash goes, it's an amazing infatuation song, not the last one you're gonna see on this list. And the song basically is just talking about getting to know somebody. Everything's going so smooth to the point you extend that invite to, "Why don't you crash over at my place?" The track also features Kelly Rowland and Raphael Sadiq, so if you need more motivation to check it out, there it is. Number 13, Flat Shasta and Janky Moral Compass, Rave On. And now we get to one of the heaviest tracks on this list with Flat Shasta. And this list contains a lot of songs with a lot of replay value, and this isn't one of them. And that's not because it's not an amazing song. It's an amazing song, but it's amazing because of how heavy this track is. It's not a song you're going to replay over and over and over again, but it's definitely a song that leaves an impact on you. It's basically Rave On trying to get through to his mom, begging, pleading to her as she's slowly losing herself to schizophrenia and other mental illness. Very heartbreaking to hear. Sonically, it really reminds me of something you would have heard from Eminem in the early 2000s, especially the hook. Janky Moral Compass features a great Samara Sin verse, and the song explores themes of feeling lost, especially morally, as the title would suggest, and weighing your options of how to improve your situation. One of my favorite bars is in the hook when he says, "I ain't know my weight until I had to pick myself up." I feel like everybody has been through a similar situation where you had to pick yourself up. You really didn't know what you were made of until your back was against the wall and you really had no choice. I also love when that line is said. He says, "I ain't know my weight," and it lines up like perfectly on the snare. Just some music nerd shit. I love it. Number 12, Ace Trumpets and So Be It, Clipse. The first 2 official singles from Let God Sort 'Em Out, and I don't think there's too many people that will argue with you that that was the right call, because the way Malice stepped back on the scene on Ace Trumpets was a moment. I wanted to pick a couple of my favorite quotes from Ace Trumpets, but the whole damn song is a quotable, bro. I think everybody's favorite line, of course, is "Yellow diamonds look like pee-pee." You know what I mean? But word of advice for y'all, if your yellow diamonds look like pee-pee, that's cool. But if your pee-pee starts to look and feel like yellow diamonds, see a doctor. So Be It in the form we know it today almost didn't see the light of day. Shout out to Swizz Beatz for the sample clearance. The substitute beat that was out for like a couple hours did not hit, and I think this song as a whole would have definitely suffered. Of course, this is the song we get the Travis Scott diss towards the end. "You lied in front of me, you died in front of me, Calabasas to get bitches." I don't think we're gonna get that Travis Scott and Pusha T collab track anytime soon. Number 11, Tomorrow Today and Power and Problems, Wale. I've said it before, many others have said it time and time again, but Wale has perfected this R&B rap subgenre. And one of my favorite bars on this track, one of my favorite bars on this whole album, he says, "The single is doing numbers, but I really want beside you. Single life is cool, I'm knocking them down, I have my choice of women. That's cool, it's doing numbers, but I really want beside you." Single, that's the main song you're looking to push. B-sides is more like kind of the hidden gems within the track. So the single doing numbers, the double entendre, single life versus being in a relationship, a single as in we're talking music, the song you're trying to push. The single doing numbers, but I really want B-side you. I really want to be next to you. Wale's the dopest. Speaking of amazing hooks, Power and Problems is another just beautifully written hook. And me as a stubborn introvert, I really felt this in my soul. My power, I never needed nobody. But my problem is I never needed nobody. The struggle of that battle with independence and putting your pride to the side when you actually do need help is a very real thing. Cracking the top 10, Labrador and Uh Oh by Dr. Dot. At the start of the year, I don't think I would have ever guessed that either half of Earth Gang would have released a solo album, and that solo album would have been in my top 10 albums of the list, and that album would have songs that wind up in my top 10 songs of the list. But Dr. Dot cooked up some heat. Labrador is just such a unique joint. I don't think there's another song that came out this year that's like it. The beat is kind of trance-like. The pacing feels like a sprint, but it's smooth at the same time. Rhymes for days, clever shit for days, especially in the second verse. One of my favorite verses this whole year. And the track Uh Oh just feels like Frank Sinatra grew up on Campbellton Road and is just crooning over his baby mama that just left him. Every single second of both these tracks is enjoyable. And again, there's not a track that came out this year that's like these ones. Number 9, Whole Phase and Grayscale, Duckworth. One of my biggest flaws as a creator in the hip hop space is I like what I like. I do struggle with exploring and venturing out and checking out new artists or new songs. I'm a creature of habit. What can I say? But at the top of this year, I made the decision to say fuck all that and check out an artist by the name of Duckworth. And it's one of the best decisions I made this year. Honestly, it was the album cover that did it for me, and the fact that it was being sold on Even. Even is the more like direct-to-consumer way of buying music and of releasing music. Mick Jenkins, a few other artists have released projects over there as well. But the project is called All American F-Boy, and on that project is a track called Whole Phase, and I played this song to death. This song is basically, as the title would suggest, a song about exploring your hoe phase, specifically with somebody who is also in their hoe phase. Shout out to the hoes. Grayscale, on the other hand, is a song about when you reach that talking stage with somebody and you're kind of being wishy-washy about what your intentions are or what you think your future holds with this person. It kind of reminds me of when you're in that talking stage and they hit you with the, yo, what are we? You know, and you look back at it and you hit it with like, yo, we're humans, baby. We're all God's creatures. You know what I mean? It's that type of vibe. Number 8, Dollar Menu by Ray Vaughn. I've referred to this song many times as the perfect hip hop song. Let me tell you why. It's another 2-part track. The first half is Ray talking about the struggle and about humility and being grateful that the dollar menu existed during his hardest times. And on the second half, we get the polar opposite where Ray is just popping his shit about standing on tables with bottles and bragging that the girl of your dreams is just the girl he takes to McDonald's and restricts to the dollar menu. Just ignorant fly shit. So in the same song, you go from the super humble beginnings with the dollar menu being like a beacon of hope so you can scrounge up enough change to hopefully eat at least one time in the day, to the ignorant, indulgent boastfulness of the second half of the track. It's a perfect hip hop song. Number 7, Mike Tyson Blow to the Face and POV, Clipse. Let's talk about Mike Tyson Blow to the Face first. The way Malice and Push both started their verses when they came in on the verse Acapulco, legendary shit. Really reminds me of some Biggie or Jay-Z 99 Problems type ish. Push said something like back-to-back rolls at the gates, white slave master souls in my safe. And then Malice does what he's been doing all year, closing out the songs with some of the best verses that you've ever heard. When he closed this one out by saying, Mike Tyson, blow to the face, like 96, Hove with the bass. Bro, I damn near crashed my car listening to this shit. Really makes me wish Hove had a verse on this track. And then I gotta talk about POV as well, featuring Tyler. This might have the most quotables of any song on Let God Sort 'Em Out. Push's verse is full of them. All I see is 60-day stars and 20-year thousandaires. Whole lot of not enough shopping, whole lot of browsing theirs. You Zeus Network dudes, you hear me loud and clear. Get these 5,500 hosting dudes out of here. What else do you say? Ghostface with the wrist, Bird Falconeer. Like every single line is a quotable, bro. Tyler said, my dude Push keeps dirty white moving like mosh pits. I was just at one of my friends, he's in a rock band. I was just at one of his shows. I kind of was mosh pit adjacent, and I can definitely tell you Tyler knows what he's talking about. Didn't smell very good in there. And I'm not saying Malice's verse was a bad verse at all, but when you consider all the other crazy verses that Malice has had this year, this was one of his weaker verses. He, of course, had a couple dope bars in here. I was the only one to walk away and really be free. Really hits hard if you know his story of stepping away from hip hop and, you know, standing on what he believes. He also said, came back for the money, that's the devil in me. Had to hide it from the church, that's the Jekyll in me. Just that duality, Jekyll, hide it from the church, that's the Jekyll in me. Malice is one of the greatest. And that hook on POV, don't let anybody tell you that Clipse cannot make hooks. Number 6, Don't Lose Track by Chidera. Shout out to Brian Zizusk, I think that's how you say his last name, for putting me onto this joint. I was just randomly scrolling through Twitter, and the thread was talking about, like, what's your favorite song right now? And he posted that up, that it was one of his favorite songs, whenever the time of release was. It was one of his favorite songs at the time. I listened to it, instantly a fan, instantly on the playlist, instantly on repeat. The whole song just has a weightlessness to it that not a lot of other songs this year have. He touches on things like not knowing where life is gonna take you, not knowing who's gonna be by your side in that life, who you're gonna fall in love with in this life. And I think where this song really shines is the emphasis on being okay with whatever your future holds, being okay with whatever God has in store for you. The vocal performance is great on this as well. I really wish we could have got a Mac Miller verse on this track though. Number 5, On the Edge, Deontay Hitchcock. No BS, but this might be the most motivating song I've ever heard. I'm 32, full transparency, and I've been feeling like I'm at a crossroads in life from time to time. Paralyzed by fear sometimes to make certain moves, and then this song dropped. I heard this song and I feel like he wrote this song about me. Just the hook alone, where he's talking about, lately I've been on the edge, knowing the dude that I want to be don't exist till I step off the ledge. I know if I fall, I might die, but if I don't, then I'm already dead. You know what I mean? It's just that risk, and having to live with the risk of not jumping. You know what I mean? Having to live with those what ifs. You know what I mean? You might jump off that ledge and you might fall flat on your face. You know what I mean? And that's just life. But if you don't at least jump, then you'll never know if you can fly or not. You know what I mean? If that don't speak to you, I don't know what will. And if that hook didn't speak to you, he's got some bars in the verses too. This is one of my favorite ones. He says, do all of my flaws and scars exist if I pretend not to see them? Am I the dude that I want to be before I make decisions to be him? The whole song is full of game. This joint is just full of inspirational, motivational bars, and not in a way that feels preachy or like a TED Talk. It's from someone who actually has been there and actually took that leap. Number 4, Chance the Rapper, No More Old Men. The way Chance vividly paints pictures of his barbershop memories and experiences from Mr. Darden taking the bus to that barbershop and the bootleg DVD man, to those same patrons trading stories about their childhood and the little kid getting his first haircut is very impressive, and the themes of generational family bonds and community are very strong. That's just the first verse though. The second verse might be even more impressive. We get the same descriptive imagery and lyricism from Chance, but the second half of this verse, Chance sounds almost frustrated while he's reading the 4 Black Commandments, and he closes the verse by saying, "In the distant future, the twilight of our lives contains all the laughter and highlights of our lives, the knowledge that could help a young man go forth for the day we won't see these old men no more." Which basically, to me, there's this saying that the youth is wasted on the young, and basically that means when we're young, we have the ability, especially physically, to do certain things, but you know, we don't have that humility, we don't have that experience, and we think we know better. When we get old, we lose the ability to do certain things, especially physically, but hopefully we've grown, experienced, and wise. And to tie it back to Chance and this song, we're seeing men, especially Black men, die younger and younger due to many different reasons. And because of that, we're losing out on these barbershop memories or the memories of watching the fight with your people. We're losing recipes, as the kids would say. And as much credit and love as Chance is deservedly getting for this song, Jamila Woods on the hook deserves just as much. Number 3, FICO, Clipse. What can I say about this song that hasn't already been said? Absolutely nothing. So I'm just gonna double down and triple down on what's already been said about this standout track from Let God Sort 'Em Out. First of all, the internal rhyme schemes that both Push and Malice do throughout their verses needs to be studied at every university. Stove God, of course, had that amazing hook that put him on the radar of thousands, if not millions, of new fans, and I won't let this go. Stove should have had a verse on this track. One of my favorite bars from Push's verse is when he says, "When you young, you realize you can't trust a mouth where the pipe go. They try, but can't love you enough." I think that perfectly sums up and paints the picture of addiction perfectly. And then this Malice verse though, probably the best verse on Let God Sort 'Em Out, probably the best verse I heard this entire year. I was gonna pick a couple bars, a couple quotes to talk about from that verse, but I couldn't pick just one. Pull up Rap Genius, go through every verse, there's a quotable every bar, just pick one. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it in an official capacity, but if I were ranking rappers this year, Malice is my MVP. Number 2, Baile Inolvidable, Bad Bunny. Baile Inolvidable is the best song from an amazing Bad Bunny album. It is heavily salsa influenced. Baile Inolvidable translates to the unforgettable dance, which is pretty on point because this song in itself is pretty unforgettable. You put this track on at damn near any party, and not everybody is gonna be able to understand every word, but a good time is gonna be had. I wish I could get on here and be a little bit more descriptive about this song, but this genre of music, this reggaeton, salsa, you know, it's hip hop adjacent, I guess. Bad Bunny, I kind of would consider him a rapper, but this type of music really isn't my bag, you know what I mean? And there's that language barrier as well. So I wish I could get on here and be more descriptive, but it's an amazing song. I wish I had more for you than that, but if it's anything to go off of, this was my most played song for my YouTube music rap. I use YouTube music because I'm a real man, you know what I mean? But obviously, this song was amazing, in my opinion, with as many times as I played it. And honestly, I can't wait to see him perform this at the Super Bowl so I can read all those angry, mean tweets that all those Oakley shade wearing motherfuckers are gonna be writing. And my number 1 song of 2025, Everyday People, Boss, and the Hicks. This song perfectly encapsulates that feeling of new love or infatuation when you meet somebody and you can't get them out of your head. I think this song sounds like the soundtrack to every first kiss or butterfly-inducing romantic moment. Voss kicks off the track with some vocals and he has a dope rap verse towards the end. But I think the real star of this song, the real star of this show, is Roxanne and her upbeat, half-singing, melodic, semi-rap verses. She killed it. I could not get her verses out of my head no matter how hard I tried. I don't know if they put drugs in this song or they tuned it to like the perfect frequency or something, but it just does something to my brain, bro. And this whole album actually is amazing. It's a travesty that more people aren't talking about this song or just this album in general. You can pick any song from this album and you're probably gonna have a new favorite song. So there you have it, my favorite songs of 2025. Let me know some of your favorite songs of 2025 down in the comments. Hit that subscribe button for more hip hop related content. Got a lot coming at you in 2026. Reactions, reviews, interviews, shows, all of that. Y'all have a happy new year. And remember, if it's not too dope, then it's probably mids.